Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. A lot of motorsport is starting this coming weekend. Formula 1, Formula 2 and Formula 3 all kick off in Bahrain. World Endurance starts in Qatar and Nitro Rallycross actually comes to an end this weekend. So we are going to spend a lot of time looking at the grids for all these series, starting today with Formula 3. Big shake-up in 2024. Obviously, last year's champion, Gabriele Bortoleto, is not returning, but several others are also moving up to Formula 2 or somewhere else completely. So let's go team by team and look at every driver in Formula 3 in 2024. And right at the end, I might even throw in some predictions. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of the motorsport content coming today and this week and forever, including Formula 1 predictions later this week. And let's jump into the video. Rodin. So Carlin have been brought up by ambitious New Zealand sports car manufacturer Rodin, and that might not be a bad thing with New Zealand motorsport really in a golden era right now. That being said, Carlin finished last in 2023 with just 2 points, scored by Israeli driver Ido Cohen, who has since disappeared from the series. Instead, Rodin have raided GB3, taking their own 2023 champion Callum Voisin and third place finisher Joseph Loke. Joining them is Polish driver Piotr Wisnicki, who did half a season for PHM in Formula 3 last year before getting dumped with a best finish of 18th. Voisin and Loke were very good in GB3 last year, so any points this team scores will be through them. I wouldn't hold out too much hope for Piotr Wisnicki. It'll be a good season for him if he actually finishes it employed. PHM. Cheroots are now gone completely from the lineup, but PHM will be hoping they can do better going it alone. They honestly can't do all that much worse. To the annoyance of commentators and YouTubers everywhere, they've signed Tsanapal Imfrapuvasak for 2024. The Thai driver has been a good midfielder in various Formula Regional series around the world, and it was about time he stepped up to Formula 3. His most high-profile race victories come in Formula 4, and he has never been champion in any series. Nikita Bedrin is an Italian driver from Belgorod in Russia. He raced in Formula 3 for Genza in 2023 and did grab a couple of podiums. He only finished 18th overall, but I think he is capable of being a decent midfield runner if he stays out of trouble. The final PHM driver is Joshua Defek, who has taken a few podiums in various Formula Regional Series and Euro Formula, but again is nothing more than midfield quality, and I think he might be the weakest driver in PHM's lineup. I think 2024 will be better for the team though, but only slightly. ART. The French team had a pretty drab 2023 after taking Victor Martins to the title in 2022. They've changed 2 of their drivers, but kept Bulgarian youngster Nikola Zolov on for another year, and he did at least score some points in his debut year. Still very young and could still be a surprise package in 2024. Joining him are Christian Mansell, who for me, so far, has been a bit of a disappointment. He did get a couple of podiums for Campos in 2023, but still only finished 12th overall, and was dominated by Roman Belinsky in Formula Regional Oceania earlier this year. 2023 New Zealand Grand Prix winner Lawrence Van Hopen was pretty mediocre in Formula Regional Europe, but he's not awful, and this is his first attempt at Formula 3, so I'll be nice and say midfield, maybe lower midfield. Actually, all 3 of these drivers have lower midfield vibes about them. Van Amersfoort Racing. Almost a completely new lineup for Van Amersfoort. Caio Collet is now an Indy NXT driver and Nissan Formula E reserve, whilst Rafael Villagomez has somehow got to drive in Formula 2. An even faster car for him to crash in. He's been racing for Van Amersfoort since 2021. You'd think they'd know better. The one driver they held on to was Tommy Smith, who was by far the worst of the 3 in 2023. Villagomez scored 2 points. Smith didn't score nothing. He'll probably do that again in 2024. Sophia Florsch moves across from PHM, and as I have mentioned, was the only PHM driver to score points in both Formula 2 and Formula 3. This might be a little bit of a step up for her, but expect similar levels to last year. And Noel Leon, who was last year's Euro Formula champion and looks pretty good on paper, but this will be his first real attempt at a competitive series since 2022, when he raced in Formula Regional, and that did not go great for the Mexican driver. He scored just 3 points for Arden that year, but he has won a few championships on his way up to Formula 3. Hard to tell how this team will do in 2024, maybe a step back, but then it really isn't any better or worse than last year's lineup. Genza. Completely new lineup for Genza. Charlie Wirtz is a Formula 4 UAE and Formula Regional Oceania champion, but he struggled in Formula Regional Europe at the start of last year and turned to Euro Formula to get some results. He needs a boost, and a good debut year in Formula 3 for Genza is a start. I think 2025 will be the year of Charlie Wirtz. He'll have a Taylor Barnard-like year this year, getting good results but not really being a title contender. Then in 2025 he'll get a move to Trident or Prema and win the championship, moving up to Formula 2 in 2026. Max Esterson was a star of Formula Ford a couple of years ago and put in some okay performances in GB3 over the last couple of years, taking a win in 2022. That was the last win he took after a poor year in GB3 and a few races in Formula 3. This is a big step up for the American. Finally, Peruvian driver Matthias Zagazzetta. Well, he lost the 2021 British F4 Championship to Matthew Rees, who went on to do better in GB3 than Max Esterson. So Zagazzetta could be alright, but he has been woeful in Formula Regional, and I think this is going to be a pretty tough year for him. He's doing well if he even gets close to scoring a point. I'll rub Marmite in my eyes if he does. High Tech. Luke Browning could be a top contender in 2024. The 2022 GB3 champion had a tough debut year for High Tech in Formula 3, but did get a podium and ran near the front occasionally. Since then, he has won the Macau Grand Prix in front of some very good drivers, and I think he is coming on leaps and bounds. Watch this kid, he's going to do a lot better in 2024 than he did in 2023. High Tech need a good year. They always do worse than I think they will. Formula Regional Europe runner-up Martinius Stenson is another good signing. Never been a champion, and the only races he has won in his career was last year, but he does look like a very good driver. And Kian Shields, who was runner-up in Euro Formula and is previously a race winner in GB3, not very experienced at this kind of level, so this will be a learning year for him. Some good drivers for High Tech. I think they'll finish third in the team's championship. And watch Luke Browning, he could be champion. Campos. Oliver Gopher raced for Campos in Formula 3 briefly in 2022 and was decent in his first full year with Trident, taking a win and finishing 8th overall. I expect more wins from him. He's clearly talented, top 5 driver with a big future ahead of him. Sebastian Montoya looked like hot stuff in 2022. He won a couple of races in Formula Regional Middle East and made 2 starts in Formula 3 where he looked like a star. Since then, he was disappointing in Formula 3 in 2023 for High Tech, not great at Macau, struggled in the Middle East and was average for United Autosports in European Le Mans. The son of a Formula 1 race winner who is also part of the Red Bull Academy has a lot of pressure on his shoulders, and maybe a move back to Campos will help steady the ship. Campos always seemed to have one Spanish driver. Pepe Marti has moved up to Formula 2 and his like-for-like replacement is Mari Boya, who already has a year behind him for MP, and if he can match Pepe Marti, then Campos will be just fine. MP Motorsport. 3 new drivers for MP. Colapinto has gone to Formula 2, Johnny Edgar has moved over to sports cars, and Mari Boya has switched to Campos. Kasper Stuka is a real superstar in the making. The 18-year-old won the Italian F4 and Formula Winter Series in 2023. He won 16 of 35 races entered last year, and whilst he'll struggle to match that in 2024, he is a definite one to keep an eye on. Alex Dunn has been a runner-up for a couple of years now, runner-up in GB3 in 2023 and runner-up in Italian F4 in 2022. He was British F4 champion in 2022, so he can get it done at the top end. Finally, Tim Tranmits, 3rd in Formula Regional Europe, but losing out to Andrea Kimi Antonelli and Martinius Stenson is nothing to be ashamed of. 3 good drivers, but I feel like 2025 will be a better year for all 3 of these drivers. I think you'll see them in the points at most races, but they need some experience behind them. Trident. I said the 2023 lineup looked weaker than previous years, and they ended up with the Drivers' Championship and barely lost out in the Teams' Championship. So when I say in 2024 that they look like they have a weaker lineup than in previous years, take it with a grain of salt. Leonardo Fornaroli was the lowest finishing of the 3 drivers last year, and I don't think he is title-winning material. He's half decent backup, but he's leading the line in 2024, and that might be a problem, especially as he's only won 2 races in his career in Formula 4. Sami Megatunev another driver who has taken just 2 wins in his entire career, has also never finished higher than 4th in any championship. That was French F4 in 2020, 9th in Formula Regional Europe and 10th in the Middle East. He's not going to do well here. Santiago Ramos has never won a race, he's only taken a couple of podiums. This is just a strange lineup for Trident. They've been a top team in Formula 3 for years, but I just don't see it happening for them in 2024. I can't imagine any of these drivers breaking the top 10. Prema, and the team to beat. Prema always do well in Formula 3, and Dino Beganovic did finish 6th overall last year. I have said he is much overhyped, but he could do it in 2024. The talent is there, and I think Formula 3 is a little weaker all round. Beganovic is a Formula Regional Europe champion, but didn't take a single win last year. He'll need to right that wrong straight away. With his 2 2023 teammates moving to Formula 2, Prema needed 2 new drivers. Gabriele Mini is a great driver. The Italian took 2 wins for High-Tech last year and got a podium in the Macau Grand Prix. I think he is a strong contender for champion as well. And Arvid Lindblad is making up the numbers. To be fair, the Red Bull Junior is only 16 and has plenty of time to do great things, especially with Prema. He did well against more experienced drivers in Formula Regional Middle East earlier this year. He's a Formula 4 champion and won the Macau Formula 4 race. He knows how to win and has 2 great teammates to learn from. I think any team that gets close to Prema will have done well in 2024. My predictions for the year are Dino Beganovic and Gabriele Mini fighting for the title, with Beganovic taking it by a slim margin at the final race. Prema will dominate the team's title. So that is the entire field of teams and drivers for Formula 3 in 2024. As always, things could change throughout the year. Formula 3 has a lot of driver changes as the season proceeds. It'll be interesting to see who comes and goes in 2024. I can't see anyone beating Prema. If I'm honest, it'll be a shock if anyone is within 100 points of them. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, leave your thoughts down below. Previews for World Endurance and Formula 2 are coming later this week, and so are Formula 1 predictions, livery review and a chat about the Bahrainian Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching and have a good one.